The Formula One season is all over, and spoiler alert, Lewis Hamilton is the champion. Now is the worst part of the year, the off-season. What are F1 fans to do during the longest period of time before we get to see more racing? Well, for the last 4 years, that's where Codemasters F1 games have come in. What better way to pass the time waiting for Formula One than by playing Formula One? F1 2014 was released earlier this year and is likely to be the last F1 game for last-gen consoles like the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. So how did the Codemasters team do? Well, this review may answer that. But rather than provide a final score, I'm just going to go over the pros and cons, first the pros and then the cons, and my final opinion. Then if you'd like, you can form your own opinions. Let's go. Pro number 1. F1 2014 is the best looking F1 game from Codemasters thus far. Every year, Codemasters really works hard to squeeze every bit of visual performance out of the platform that they've chosen to make each game look better than the last, and this year is no different. There's more detail on the cars and backgrounds this time around, and the environments look inviting and are true to the real-world tracks that are featured in the game. Pro number 2, they've made the handling better without dumbing it down. Codemasters F1 games have always been tricky to straight out difficult when it comes to learning how the cars handle. Despite that, with practice, it's possible to get the hang of things. However, in previous games, there'd be the random anomaly in which the car can suddenly lose control when attacking the curbs. Obviously, the same thing can happen in real life, but in the earlier games, it seemed that if the tires just barely touched the curbs, the car would go around. In F1 2014, they loosened up that restriction a bit, and now there's much more confidence in attacking corners than before, which also leads to confidence in exploring the track more to find grip. However, do not confuse this with numb arcadey controls. Players will still definitely need to stay sharp to keep their cars on the tarmac, especially with assist turned off. Pro number 3, there's a lot to do. When Codemasters set out to create a Formula One game, they really wanted to try and create the experience of being a real F1 driver. This means you can do a full-length race weekend, which includes practice, knockout qualifying, and a full-length race. On top of that, there's a return of scenario mode. What's scenario mode? Well, I think that's best explained by the game itself.
Welcome to the Scenario Mode Hub. Here you can take part in a number of scenarios that recreate the on-track experiences of a Formula One driver's career. Let's take a look around. Across the top part of the hub are the scenario groups. Each group contains a set of scenarios relating to a particular period in a Formula One driver's career. To the right, you can see the scenarios contained within the current highlighted group and what medal, if any, that you've been awarded. When you successfully complete a scenario, you'll earn a medal based on the difficulty level chosen. You will also receive a score, which you can compare against your friends and other Formula One drivers. That covers the key features of the Scenario Mode Hub.
Well said, although what the disembodied voice doesn't mention is that these scenarios are very challenging, as in intermediate players will even struggle just to get a bronze medal in some of these events. But because of the challenge, this mode adds a lot of depth and replayability to F1 2014. Even if a player goes through a full season and takes on all the scenarios, there's still online multiplayer racing to keep them coming back for more. All in all, there's just a lot to do here. Con number 1, the engine, sound. Codemasters does their best to recreate F1 as closely to the real thing as possible, and in this case, it's kind of to a fault, as the car in the game sound much like the cars in real life. Here, take a listen and see what I mean. Now for comparison, listen to the way the cars sound in the F1 2013 game. Can you hear the difference? If not, then great. If you do, then, well, you have to decide how you feel about it. While I personally find the engine sound underwhelming, the truth is, once I'm embroiled in the game, battling for a position or trying to take time off my laps, the way the cars sound kind of becomes an afterthought. Con number 2, this game is only for last-gen consoles. Although it's totally understandable that Codemasters didn't want to simply port F1 2014 to the current gen consoles without taking advantage of their power. So while it's a bummer that Xbox One and PS4 owners can't play F1 2014, they can take solace in the fact that they will get a brand new, shiny, built from the ground up F1 game next year. If there are players out there who simply can't wait or don't own any consoles, F1 2014 is available for PC. Conclusion: F1 2014 goes out proper. F1 2014 is definitely a fitting swan song for Codemasters' journey on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. It really is the culmination of all they've learned from previous games and includes all the positives and ditches most of the negatives. Sure, F1 2014 still isn't perfect, but its problems are superficial and nitpicky at best. The fact is, F1 2014 still holds on to what made the series great: authenticity and a real sense of satisfaction that makes the player feel like a real F1 driver. 10 minutes in and I'm no longer concerned about how the cars sound or texture maps. It's all about how awesome it is to find an extra tenth of speed to stay above the bubble in qualifying. The position gained after fighting the car ahead for several laps. The satisfaction a well-executed pit strategy brings. As long as Codemasters keeps F1 series about those things, I'll be a fan. If you enjoy this video, help us out by clicking the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, then please subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.